Hey, what's up my tribe? Balrock here, and welcome to the first Diablo 4 video. I've been playing it a lot since the early launch, and I wanted to share this insane Sorcerer lightning build that I'm using to level up, and let me tell you that it's a monster. It really packs a punch with damaging spells, stuns, and burst damage, with the added bonus of great survivability. With this, you will experience and feel the chain reaction of swarms of enemies dying so fast that it's beautiful. So if you are just starting the game with a sorcerer in Diablo 4, this can be the build to use from level 1 to 50. So let's jump right into it, and don't forget to like this video and comment down below if you use a similar build or your opinion about sorcerer class in general. So I started leveling with a Spark, Chain Lightning, and Ball Lightning build, and it felt alright, but then I decided to try the Arc Lash, Charge Bolt build, and wow, what a difference. It made my leveling so much faster, obliterating packs of monsters and doing burst damage to down elites really quick. Even though it was recently nerfed in a patch following up the early release, it's still powerful and super insane. The purpose of this build is to play at close range, stun your enemies to maximize your damage, and also reducing the cooldown of your abilities to be able to stun the enemies again and repeat that cycle over and over. That's not all, you will be doing a little bit of fire damage and have great mobility if you need to get out of any sticky situation. Let's take a look at the abilities you will be using and how to use them. First, there's Arc Lash. This is going to be your main basic damage dealer when you start the game, and later on it becomes the spell that you will decrease your ability cooldown when enemies are stunned. Second is a Charged Bolt, and this will be your primary mana spender and big burst damage dealer. If you hit at least 3 bolts to a single enemy to create a lightning Nova Blast to deal even more damage to surrounding enemies. Next, your defensive skills are Ice Armor that will help with survivability and mana regeneration. The other defensive skill is Teleport that will give you the mobility to get out of sticky situations. Both skills will help stunning enemies, but I will explain this when I show you the skill tree. Now, to increase even more your damage, I got the Hydra skill to burn down enemies and help with the mana regen. And finally, Unstable Currents that will be the skill when you want to make the greatest damage possible to large groups of enemies, elites, or bosses. Now, when playing, I usually do this cycle. First, you pop a Hydra to start burning enemies, and always keep it up since you can cast it over and over without any cooldown. Next, you want to pop a skill with a cooldown like Ice Armor, Teleport, or Unstable Current to stun your close surrounding enemies. Remember, when they are stunned, it will deal more damage, and what better skill to do that than Charge Bolt to do massive burst, or Arc Slash to decrease a bit your cooldowns. Then switch to other cooldowns that you didn't use the first time to stun them again, and repeat the process trying to manage your mana to do those insane bursts of damage. And when you kill an enemy, it will explode, making surrounding enemies damage, so if they explode, others can explode too, making a feast to your eyes with the chain reaction explosion. So that brings us to what enchantment to use. First, I use Fireball as the first enchantment to get that explosion chain reaction when killing enemies. And the second one is Arc Lash to stun enemies around you when using a cooldown, aka your Ice Armor or the Teleport or the Unstable Current like I said before. So as you can see, it's a build that goes full circle while burning, stunning, doing damage, regenerating mana, and doing it all over again. Everything contributes to your main goal, that is stun, 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 to do more damage. Now let's take a look at the abilities you need to put this mechanic in play. On your basic skills, 5 points into Arc Lash. Every 10th hit will stun all enemies. 1 point in Enhanced Arc Lash and 1 point in Glinting Arc Lash. Hitting a stun enemy with it will reduce cooldown by 0.15 seconds. On patch 1.02D, Arc Lash Lucky Hit and cooldown reduction was nerfed, but it still performs really well. On core skills, 1 point in Fireball to add it as an enchantment effect to have that chain reaction of explosion when killing enemies. 5 points on Charge Bolts. 1 point in Enhanced Charge Bolts. It comes in handy with the close range playstyle that this build has to add more damage with the Nova Explosion, and 1 point in Greater Charge Bolt that will increase 25% the damage to those stunned enemies. And as you can see, that 25% is a multiplier, so it's very sweet. On defensive skills, we got 3 points on Teleport, 1 point on Enhanced Teleport to reduce the teleport cooldown, 1 point in Shimmering Teleport to add a bit of survivability, increasing damage reduction, 1 point in Ice Armor, 1 point in Enhanced Ice Armor to increase that mana regen, 1 point in Shimmering Ice Armor to have a chance to froze enemies and have them in another crowd control state, 3 points in Elemental Attunement to have a lucky hit proc to reset the cooldown of the defensive skills. Remember that those skills are the ones that gonna stun enemies, so this is a good one. On Conjuration skills, 3 points on Hydra to deal that burning damage, 1 point in Enhanced Hydra to have an additional head to attack, 1 point in Summon Hydra to add additional burn damage, and 1 point to Align the Elements to have damage reduction against elites. On Mastery skills, 1 point in Inner Flames to get to the next node, 3 points in Devouring Blaze to deal 30% critical strike damage to burning enemies, or 75% if they are burning and immobilized. 1 point in Static Discharge to get to the next node, and 3 points in Shocking Impact to deal even more lightning damage to stun enemy. This is a great one. For ultimate skills, select Unstable Currents and select Prime Unstable Current, increasing your attack speed. Select Supreme Unstable Current. Also, 3 points on Coursing Currents to increase the critical hit chance, 1 point in Electrocution to have a little damage reduction on enemies and to get to the next node. That's 3 points in Convulsions to have a lucky hit proc of 9% chance to stun enemy. This is an important one. Everything stun is good. And 3 points in Fury Surge to increase mana regen, killing those burning enemies. This is a good one as well because we need that mana regen to constantly doing the stun and doing the damage. And last, for key passive, we got Burst Mastery to maximize the close range combat, increasing damage by 10% as a multiplier and have damage reduction. And if you crit, this bonus will increase. So that's the build in a nutshell. That's the skill tree of the skills that I've used to level my character with this build. If you have another set of skills that you use or a similar build, please comment down below. And now let's talk about the armor. I mean, when leveling, you are going to be changing weapons and armor too many times to spend your effort and coins and aspect, upgrading, enchanting, So, but I will tell you this, that to make more damage with this build and any build actually, you need to have in your build like the stats on your items, like different kinds of damage sources that are multiplicative, like the ones you see on your screen right now, like percentage of damage multiplier, damage of your stat, the sorcerer uses intelligence, your critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and the critical strike damage variety, percent of damage if it's additive, and the damage versus and the damage with, and the vulnerable damage. Those buckets or type of damage sources, you need to have several of them to have your damage maximized. Also, a quick note, look for the legendary aspect called Aspect of Control that will deal a multiplicative 25% more damage to stun or immobilize enemies. It's very powerful, although it was nerfed this last patch, but it still works. So guys, that's it for this build. I hope it was helpful to you, as it was for me to level up my character in Diablo 4. So you know what to do, drop a like and comment down below if you want to check more videos like this one. And please subscribe if you haven't done so. I really appreciate your time and your support. So guys, I will continue playing Diablo 4, so expect more videos like this one. And we'll see you on the next one. Ciao!